The White Hats have to be ready for an attack from anywhere. At the Global Threat Center, all attention is suddenly drawn to Internet intelligence expert Carter Schoenberg. He spotted something strange. A major electronic pipeline carrying the Internet's traffic is being slowed down by a suspected hacker attack. It looks like it's following the time zones across the Pacific and heading for America.
Indonesia is pretty much getting slammed. Appear to be starting the Pacific Rim, making its way towards North America. South America still seems to be okay, but it seems like it's making its way towards North America.
It's a possible attack on the infrastructure of the Internet itself.
It appears that for whatever the reason, whatever this causes, it's moving with the sun, starting in the Pacific Rim, making its way towards the U.S.
You're witnessing trench warfare on the Internet.
If the attack hits America as the working day gets underway, it could affect millions of people.
If it hits the North American continent like it's been hitting everybody else, and then anybody that has an attachment to the pipeline, any pipeline, would probably see some significant degradation.
All traffic relying on the suspect Internet pipeline could fail. Carter makes an urgent check call to their sister station in Southeast Asia. As he does, both stations simultaneously see the pipeline recover, and the incident is over as quickly as it appeared.
It was just one of these anomalies, but it's an anomaly that when it happens, we were on top of it right when it occurred, and we were able to bring it to everybody's attention.
It's unclear what role, if any, may have been played by hackers. But for several minutes, it looked like exactly the kind of attack that the White Hats fear most: an electronic Pearl Harbor, the real threat of a deliberately launched info war.
Info war is very real, and the possibility of info war being used in coordination with an attack in electronic Pearl Harbor is absolutely a possibility, and is an event that we effectively think we're waiting to happen.
For much of the 1990s, the computers of the United States military were defended against such an attack by a team led by Bob Ayers.
I was director of the U.S. DoD Defensive Information Warfare Program. So if you think of the security program as keeping individuals out, think of the Defensive Information Warfare Program as designed to keep nation states out of DoD systems.
Hackers are already working for over 100 foreign governments.
127 nation states have an active offensive information warfare program underway.
In the mid-1990s, one of the United States' most secret military projects, the stealth bomber, became the target of hackers. Leaks of its specifications were highly sensitive.
Extremely sensitive. It's sensitive to this very day. At the time, the existence of the aircraft was known. However, any of the characteristics, or indeed even the image of the aircraft itself, was not known. So it was an item of high curiosity.
The secrets of the stealth technology were held on computers at the Rivers Air Force Base in Rome, New York, home to the Air Force Research and Development Laboratories.
A system administrator at Griffiths Air Force Base in New York noticed the attacks taking place. He noticed it 3 days after they began. And as soon as he noticed it, he reported it to my organization, and the reaction process then began.
They knew the secrets of the stealth project were being hacked into, but they didn't know who was doing it.
There was a great deal of concern evidenced by these attacks because the U.S. didn't know where they were coming from.
It's a classic difficulty for the White Hats. Hackers make perfect spies because they can hide in the shadows of cyberspace.
The problem is hackers typically come through multiple launch points, and so they kind of play hopscotch on the internet. You see typically the last IP address that they came from into your network, and that'll resolve back to some computer that they have hacked into and taken over for the purposes of masking who they really are.
It was very difficult to go back through the chain of hops to find the actual source. So the technical attempts to, in the terms of the day, to hack back to find the source failed.
Who could have wanted such information? the immediate suspects were hostile foreign powers. But in fact, the hackers who got under the radar of the most sophisticated spying technology ever built were teenagers sitting at home in London, England.
The young men that were launching these attacks, they didn't go from London, which is the environment they were in, directly to New York. They'd go from London through South Africa, through Mexico, and then to the United States.
Technology and the global hacker community have expanded rapidly in the years since the stealth bomber attacks. At that time, the Department of Defense calculated the total number of intrusions into its systems. The figure was extraordinary.
Over 250,000 times in 1995, someone other than a DoD employee was in charge of a DoD system. Now, if that isn't the foundation for an electronic Pearl Harbor, I don't know what is.